Hi girls and boys, welcome back. We are here on the week of August 24th through 28th. This is day 1 of the week for your home learning. We had a great week last week, and now we're ready to have another fantastic week, and this week we're studying some nursery rhymes. And I bet some of you are really familiar with nursery rhymes, and it should be lots of fun. So let's review what you're going to need for today's lesson. You always need your name tag. You should have your nameplate at home. Pull that out. We're going to need a marker. We're going to do several things with our marker today. Go through your packet of items and make sure you pull out the sheets that I let you know we're going to be using today. The first one is our first letter we're going to be talking about for the whole week. It's the letter S. S. Can you make that sound? S. It reminds me of a snake. We're going to be using our hands to remind us what an S looks like too. It kind of curves around like a snake. And the word snake begins with the S sound, snake. So you're going to need this sheet, pages 59 and 60. You'll put it in a plastic sleeve. You'll also need 38, 39. We're going to be talking about circles this week. Circles. Circles. We'll also be using this sheet, our number sheet. It goes from 1 all the way to 6. We're just going to be focusing on 1, 2, and 3. And when we work with that, we're going to be using our Play-Doh. So make sure that you have your Play-Doh out. Feel free to put it on pause if you need to get all your materials together. Okay, first thing we're going to do, let's get our name tag out and trace our name. Take your time. Follow the dots. Mine's a pretty short name, so it doesn't take very long. Just 3 letters in my last name, M-E-O. Miss Meo. Let's see your name. Some of you are getting so fast at tracing too. Others need a little extra time, that's fine. Here we go. You want to have something to erase it with. I'm going to use just a Kleenex right now. So here we go. Now we're ready for the next time we meet. Nice and clean. Okay, let's pull out our letter S. S. Let's practice that like a little snake. S. S. You know, snakes are often green. And I have some green Play-Doh. Yours doesn't have to be green, but at home you should have some Play-Doh. And we're gonna roll it very much like a snake. Roll it, roll it, roll it. See, it's getting longer and longer and longer. If you hear some children laughing and singing, it's next door. I think they're having a good time. Here we go. See the letter S? You are going to put your Play-Doh on the S. Let's see. Let's see what yours looks like. It should look something like this. S. Now take a little bit less Play-Doh and see if you can make a small S. One is a big S and one is a small S. Some say uppercase and lowercase. If your name starts with an S, you would use a capital S, the big S. Now I have a small S. Let's see what yours looks like. I am impressed. Some of you are experts at Play-Doh, I can tell. Now we're going to get our marker and we're going to go to the back side. The back side has a picture of something you eat with. I'll give you a clue. If it's cereal, you would use this to get all the cereal in your mouth. What is that called? It starts with a S sound, S sound. I can hear you. It's a spoon. Evelyn, I could hear you. That was great. That's a spoon. Now we're going to trace the letter S. See where there's a black circle? That's your starting point. Trace S. Make the sound S while you're tracing. S. That's how the S sounds. I'm going to talk about some S words. Silly, Sammy, that's a person's name, Sammy. Sat, by the seashore. Silly Sally sat by the seashore. Silly Sammy, Sally, Sammy, Samantha, they all sat by the seashore. Let's see if we can come up with another story or sentence that has some S's to it. Saturday. There's a good one. Let's start with a story about Saturday or a sentence about Saturday. I sat on a log Saturday. Sat and Saturday. How about silly Sammy sat on a log Saturday? Lots of S's there. What does your sheet look like? You're doing good work. Now erase this because we're going to be using this again tomorrow. This is your S sheet. Okay, now let's get our circle sheet out. If you only have one plastic sleeve, you might need to take your S sheet out and then put your circle sheets in. That shouldn't take too long. Here we go. Now put it in the plastic sleeve today, because on our third day we will be using crayons, but today we're just going to be using our marker. Here we have a little boy, and what's it look like's happening in this picture? There are some balloons, and he's flying away. They must be filled with helium. What we're going to do is go around the lines, and we're going to trace the circle. Say circle, circle. Oh, that's a good picture. I like that. Take your time. And on the back side, we're going to do the same thing. We have oranges, and we're going to trace the oranges on the dot to dot lines. Oranges. There you go. Trace these with your marker. Now we're going to count how many oranges are on this page. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of you are 4. Can you hold up 4 fingers? 4. Good job. Let's count to 4 with our fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fingers. Now we have this sheet, which is lots of fun because we get to use Play-Doh and cover up the dots. Get your Play-Doh out. I still have my green. I tend to always use green. What color is your Play-Doh? Tell me what color it is. Can you make a ball with your Play-Doh? It's not very hard. You put a little bit in your hand and you rub your hands in a circle like this. Look at that. There I have a ball. I made a ball. I'm going to put the Play-Doh over this dot. How many dots did I just make? I made 1 dot. Very good. Now next to it is a dot to dot number of 1. Can you trace the number 1? Your sheet should have that at home. 1. Now we're going to go to the next one right below it. The next one below it looks like this. 1, 2. Now we're going to make 2 balls. 2 balls. 1 ball. 2 balls. I have 2 balls. Do you see them? 1, 2. Now we're going to put them on this sheet. 1, 2. See if you can do that. It's kind of hard to keep it up in the air, but you can see what I did. I covered up the 2 dots. Now next to that is the number 2. I don't think you can see it very well, but at home you have a sheet that has the number 2. Now let's trace the dot to dot number 2. There you go, 2. Good work. And the last one on this page looks like this. It's called a diagonal. It doesn't go straight up and down. It goes zoop to the side. Zoop. It's called a diagonal. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to make 3 balls with our Play-Doh. Some of you were smart and just kept your first 2, and you just had to add 1 more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 balls. Now let's put them on our sheet. 1, 2, 3. It's hard to hold it up. It's going to fall because of something called gravity. Everything in our world falls to the ground if it's not attached to something. So we have 3 balls of Play-Doh. There we go. Now we're going to trace the number 3. Are you ready? Can you find the number 3? It's right next to the 3 dots. We go around and around again to make a 3. This is the number 3. So we've learned about the 1, the 2, and the 3. Good work today. We're going to go ahead and put our Play-Doh up. And we're going to read just a little bit. This is one of my favorite rhymes. I think you will enjoy this one. It's a big book. You can see it really well. Check it out. It's called Hey Diddle Diddle. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such fun, and the dish ran away with the spoon. This is a little silly, isn't it? Sometimes nursery rhymes are silly. But what's really neat about nursery rhymes is we can talk about them and see if there are things that we can enjoy about rhymes and pictures of animals and fun things happening in them. Stories can be silly, and the silly stories sometimes are my favorites. We have diddle, and then there's something that rhymes with the word diddle. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. What rhymes with diddle? It sounds just like diddle, but the first letter is different. Diddle, fiddle. Do you hear that? Let's say it again. Diddle, fiddle. The cat is holding a fiddle. A fiddle and a violin are the same thing. A fiddle. He's playing music on an instrument. Do you have a favorite instrument? You can tell your parents all about that. And when you come back to school, we'll be talking about instruments too. The cat is playing a fiddle. Fiddle usually means country music, and they're playing what sometimes is known as a violin if they play a different type of music called classical music, but that's for another time. But he's playing an instrument called a fiddle. An animal is jumping over the moon. What animal is this? It's black and white. It is a cow, very good, and it is jumping over the moon. Is it possible for a cow to jump over the moon? It's just a silly expression, like somebody goes, oh, I'm over the moon for that person. But this is a cow jumping over the moon. And what's even sillier is we have 2 things running away, and you know they don't have legs. So let's listen again. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed. Do dogs laugh? They bark, don't they? To see such fun, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Here you go. A picture of a dish and a spoon. Do either of those have legs? Do your dishes have legs? Do your spoons have legs? No. That's just a funny way of having a rhyming nursery rhyme, and it's just a fun thing for us to say together, okay? So we're gonna go to the next page, and I think you're gonna like this one because you've probably all heard this one. It's called Pat a Cake. Pat a cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with a T and put it in the oven for Tommy and me. There we have something that's really possible to do. We have a baker who is a man, a person who bakes, makes things like cakes and donuts and cookies. And in this rhyme, what do we hear about the baker man? What's the baker man making? Well, let's listen again if you didn't hear it the first time. Pat a cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Roll it and prick it and mark it with the T and put it in the oven for Tommy and me. He was making a cake. Why do you think there's a T? The letter T. Why would a T be on this cake? Have you ever had a birthday cake? Look at that. That's the letter T. Sometimes your name might be on a birthday cake. And this cake has the letter T. Put it in the oven for Tommy and me. Tommy starts with what letter? T. Very good. We're going to be talking about the first letter of your name. Let's go through some name cards. Caitlin, first name. What does it begin with? What letter? C. See the C right here? Caitlin. Owen, if you had a cake, what letter would they put on your cake? First letter is O. I can hear that. You know the first letter, don't you? How about you, Bennett? That's a good one. Bennett. You know the first letter of your name. What is that? B. Now this is a great one because it was what was in the story. Timmy and Tommy both start with the same first letter. T. How about you, Jessa? What's your first letter of your first name? Jessa. J. How about Kaylee? What's the first letter? K. Carson? K again. Good job. And I have one more. You're going to be amazed. I have so many students with the names that start with the same letter. Kinley. K. Hayden. H. Easton. E. Evelyn. E. Christopher. C. Good job. How about Jax? J. And Elias. First letter? E. Good job. All of you did such a great job today. I have a link below in my description that has a video for you to watch. It's a Pat a Cake video that I think you will enjoy. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.